And we are live. Hello and welcome to episode 15 of Shifty Perspective. We are back after a 2-week hiatus, and I can hear myself now coming through. This week we have Daniel Grimwood. He is a comedian, a general funny guy, interesting, all-around lovely bloke. I've wanted to have him on the podcast since I started, so I'm personally happy that this is happening right now. So, hey, Dan, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you, man. That's a lovely little introduction. Thank you very much.
Well, I feel you deserve a some kind of fanfare or something.
I'm not sure what I've done to deserve this, but I'm just taking all the compliments I can get at the moment. So,
oh, cool.
Yeah, wow. Sweet. Cheers, man.
How's life treating you at the moment? How are you doing?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Cheers. Other than obviously the obvious huge global pandemic that we're all happily and joyfully experiencing. I'm just existing, man. I'm just trying to get through each day until we go back to normal.
Do you think we are going to go back to normal? I mean, like, what is normal?
Well, exactly. That's a nice deep opening question there. Like, what is normality, Dan? I don't know, mate. Yeah, because like I say, what is normal? It's a hard thing to go back to. It's like just taking your face mask off and being able to have concerts and all that sort of stuff. Obviously, that'd be pretty sweet.
That's something I'm really missing right now is the live music.
Yeah, man. Tell me about it. Like I say, I want to just make a slight correction to your introduction and say that I'm a comedian in progress. I've done a handful of gigs. So anybody that's like, this guy might have some really good tips on like how to get started and stuff. No, I've got fucking nothing for you because I'm amateur at best. But this whole before Corona thing had kicked off, I'd set up like some local gigs and stuff. So I was getting, just starting to find my feet a little bit and really enjoy it. And then obviously this kicked off and it just brought everything to a grinding fucking halt. So I want it to be over so we can go back to, doing that sort of business, obviously.
Yeah, man. I mean, have you been able to are you writing comedy right now?
Just general thoughts and doodles. Again, I don't know if you could call it straight up comedy. It might be like some people might read it and think it's a manifesto or something like that. Do you know?
Okay, great. Going into politics, then, is that the next move?
I don't think any party would have me. I'd have to set up my own, like the miserable bold bastards party or something.
I can join that, mate. I'll fucking support you straight up.
There's plenty of us about, man. Plenty of us about.
I'm just going to quickly check that we are we are definitely live, but just check that the link is available. Yeah, okay, the link is up. So sweet. Hopefully, and we've got somebody watching right now. Hopefully, we'll have a couple of other people as this gets posted. Hello, number one person, number one fan. Maybe my mum, maybe your mum. I don't know.
Yeah.
So what have you been doing? Have you been on lockdown? Like, have you been out of work? Have you been?
I've been lucky, man. Not a lot really changed for me because I work at a supermarket, so I was, a key worker, which felt fucking bizarre to be put up on these lists of like doctors, nurses, shop assistant. I was like, really?
Yeah.
Like, I get you're keeping the country going and all the rest of it, but yeah, like not a lot really changed for me. Like other than having to do the distancing and putting up the screens and wearing masks and all that sort of jazz. So
have you got sick or anything? Is it anything?
No, I've been lucky. I've been paranoid because I'm a bit of a hypochondriac. So when it started, I was coming home and just being like, I think I've got it. I think this is it. Like, and I wasn't. That's it. Yeah, exactly. Like getting my missus to like check my pulse and everything. Like,
oh my God.
I mean, I do that on a nightly basis anyway, because like say I get like the slightest little twinge or something. I think that's it. Like I'm gonna lose a hand or I'm having a stroke or this is,
Do you Google shit? Like, do you are you one of those people that like, you get a tingly hand and then you Google it and you're like, this is goodbye world,
I was until I did it like 3 or 4 times and realized that Google's obviously not a medical professional and neither am I.
Yeah.
That's just a stupid idea. Plus, if you type into Google like tingly right hand, like the diagnosis that you're going to get off a Google doctor is it could be any number of things. So yeah, I did it like 2 or 3 times and then just thought this is not helping the situation at all. So yeah, I don't do that. I just go to doctors instead and harass them. I went to a doctor once before I was flying out to Australia for a bit, and I thought I'd go get like a general a general checkup or whatever. And I walked into the doctor's office, and it was like this real heavily pregnant doctor as well. She was like ready to go. She just didn't want to be there, and I didn't need to be there. Like that was the problem. So I walked in and I asked this doctor these 3 questions verbatim, like in this order. I said, am I going to have a stroke? Like just immediately, like right here and now, can you check? Do I have lung cancer? And what was the other one I asked her? Yeah, am I diabetic? So you know what I mean? I'm one of the reasons that they're probably trying to privatize the NHS in this country. Because
those are all things they can't really give you an answer to on the spot generally.
Yeah, exactly. So like I just shouldn't be Googling any sort of medical terms. I should just stay the fuck away from it. So when all this stuff kicked off, I was like, brilliant. This is really going to help my situation. You get a bit book off, but yeah.
Do you worry, like, is your you know, when you're paranoid about being sick, does it actually like keep you up at night, or is it like, maybe I'm sick?
It has, but only, but again, that's normally after a couple of herbal cigarettes, and then your brain starts a little bit, you know what I mean? Like,
definitely, I know the feeling there for sure.
Most of my like keep you awake at night stuff is just general, what the fuck are you doing with your life sort of business. I don't know, like I think that's something that most people feel at some point. You know, you're lying there and you're just like, all the decisions that I've made in my life, like they've got me to, like right now, trying to fall asleep on this day. Have I made the right decisions, man? And the carnival just kicks into like a hyperdrive. Then before you know it, it's 3 o'clock.
Existence.
Going back.
Then you've got work, and it's like, oh, what? Yeah.
God.
I question like every single choice. Like literally, like I think I like I'll be in bed and I'll be thinking like, wow, imagine if I didn't, you know, go to this shop at this time. Imagine if I didn't leave this job and do this, and like, you know, all of these different things. It's insane, and you never know if it's the right decision. Well, there isn't a right decision, I guess.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about it, isn't it? There is no right or wrong to it. It's just choices, and if they're working out in your favor, then awesome, keep doing what you're doing, and if they're not, then you got to fucking reevaluate and reassess and stuff. I mean, that's what I'm kind of in the process of trying to do myself at the moment, is just sort of take a step back from just everything that I've ever sort of thought and had an opinion on. Just sort of step back and go, hang on, how much do I really know about what I'm talking about? Especially these days, it's so easy, like with, you know, social media and stuff, to just have a strong opinion about some headline that you read. And I'm terrible for it. I get sucked in by clickbait and bullshit all the time, because you go, oh my God, I can't believe that's a thing. And you go, or keyboard warrior on something. You realize, hang on, I don't really know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm just sort of going off like, and it's like, it's an emotional response to something, you know what I mean? That's where a lot of that social media bullshit, I think, comes from, is the emotional quick fire response to some little headline that you've read about. So I'm just trying to take a step back from all of that, be less naive to the, like, just global situations in general, and realize I can't go out there trying to fix the world if I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
That's very true. I mean, it's quite kind of ironic that we're sat here on a platform talking about things probably having some kind of influence, when essentially both with no expertise in probably all of the subjects that we're going to talk about, really.
Exactly.
So if you're listening, don't fucking listen.
Don't take any of the advice that is handed out by me. Just take it with whatever bag of salt you need to, man.
I find like it's really difficult though with social media, because like we're in these bubbles, and you know, like I'm definitely left leaning, and and a lot of my friends tend to be of the left, if not pretty strong far left, a lot of them. So I then see things that are particularly suited to my bubble. And so then, you know, I think the world is in this one way, when the world's, you know, really not in this one way, and then you just, like, it can be quite a bit of a shock. I think like things like the elections and like Brexit and stuff, were like the real kind of triggering moments for me, where I was like, fuck, I actually, like, I live in a bit of a bubble. I need to get myself out of this. And because you know, I thought everyone's going to like vote to stay in Europe. I thought no one's going to vote for the Tories.
Yeah, you know? 100%. And like you said, it's because, especially whether it's Facebook or whatever it is, you're liking the pages that you like. So like, so you're going to get all the information from all the sources that you enjoy. So I was exactly the same, especially with the last election here. I was convinced, I was like, there's no way that Boris Johnson's going to win for his behavior and the way he dodged interviews and just his general arseholeness. I was like, there's no way people are going to vote for that. But then you look at what the media portrayal of Corbyn and all the rest of it. And don't get me wrong, I didn't think he was the Messiah. Like I was very strongly supported him, but I knew, he's not just going to fix all the world's problems. It just seems like a far better option than that nonsense. But I had a point there and I started rambling. I forgot where I was going.
You thought he was going to be, a no-brainer, guaranteed to be winning. I think.
Yeah. And because you have that sort of, like say, that bubble of similar opinions, it kind of just makes you believe that everyone out there feels the same way as you, and obviously that's not the case. So I think it's important you've got to engage with the people you disagree with, and at the moment there just seems to be so much like polarization of you're either on the left or you're on the right. And if you try to take any sort of central position and go, well, hang on, maybe it's a little bit from column A and a little bit from column B that we need.
Yep.
You're kind of, it's like with us or against this kind of attitude. And
for sure,
the far right don't help that cause, obviously, and the far left don't help that cause. So everybody's just butting heads and you feel like you've got to pick a side.
I feel I've been driven more to the right by the left. And like I have always identified as left wing, and very left on my social values and and my fiscal values as well. However, by having more, I guess, centrist opinions, or even not even centrist opinions that I would consider left, but aren't in line with what is often the strong narrative of the left.
Yeah,
you then get like turned on. They're like, I feel that the left is generally more self-aggressive and than the right is. I think like the left turn on themselves, and by doing that they isolate people who would normally be supporters, and then you're just left with this fringe of crazy weird I'm not going to say what I was going to say because I'm about to insult a whole group of people
again. But that's it, that you're almost censoring yourself, you know what I mean? Because you don't want to upset people, which is nice enough, but at the same time, to make any sort of progress, you've got to upset a few people. Like there's not everybody's going to agree, not everybody's going to get along, and it's that, like I said before, it's that pick a side. And if you don't follow all of our ideology and all of the tenets that we follow, if you've got some sort of like even a tiny bit of like a homophobic joke that you've said 5 years ago or something, then you must be part of the right wing, or it just seems mad that you can't just sort of go, let's try a bit of both. Don't get me wrong, like I'll say this now, I will probably never ever vote Tory. I'm never going to go like that far. But if they came out and said, look, these are the policies that we're going to go with and we will do them, and they were good, solid policies, you've got to go with that. It's way easier to just put a flag over yourself and say, this is how I identify. But nobody's like that, because we're all like, there's so many little subtle differences to our individual character and your history and your background and where you've come from and what you're doing and where you're going, that you can't just go, right, I'm on the left or I'm on the right.
No, and by doing that, you're kind of isolating yourself, and actually you're shooting yourself in the foot, because it just puts you in this little box, which limits you greatly. I think change is something that is actually really positive. So a change in opinion, like it's important. I mean, of course, I'm not suggesting that you believe in like free education and actually you should turn around and become a right-wing Nazi and believe that like all Jews should get killed. Maybe there are different extremes of change, but like to be willing to shift on your opinion is so important. Like there's so many things that like I used to be like, right, I guess the prime example for me I can think of would be heavy metal music. I fucking loved heavy metal music. Yeah. And I used to say, I only listen to heavy metal. All other music is shit. I mean, ironically, I was even like, at some point, rap music is terrible. There's no skill in it, because I just didn't understand it. And I was just so blindsided by it. I was like 13. I said, I'm always going to wear an Iron Maiden top or a Slayer top or Slipknot top. And you will never find me wearing anything else. And like, that was so close-minded.
100% with you on that, because I was, to be honest, exactly the same. I was Metallica all the way when I was a teenager, from probably about 11 to 17 or something like, it was just heavy metal all the way, like, and like no other music could compare. If you even put on, well, anything other than that, I was like, not interested. And then, yeah, like I say, as you get a bit older, you start hanging out with some different people and new ideas come to you. You just start like seeing some new, hearing some new music and stuff. And I remember it was Andy C, Body Rock. That was the tune that changed everything for me, man. It just made me like,
no way,
sitting in a garage for like, started like smoking a bit of weed and all the rest of it for the first time and discovering that world. And then, yeah, Andy C, Body Rock came on. And I was like, what the fuck is this? I could bounce, I could bounce to this all night. Yeah, go on then. And then, yeah, it just fucking, you take off from there, don't you?
It was pretty much a similar thing to me. It was Andy C and Brian G. There was a drum and bass set, and I was like, "What? This is like, and I kind of told myself that, this is the closest thing to electronic heavy metal, really.
It follows like almost a similar structure, really. I thought, like, I'm not musically minded, really, but like in terms of like how you construct it or whatever, but. You've got that sort of the build up and then the breakdown and the heavy build up again, and then when it just drops, exactly, it just makes you go, come on then.
Oh my god, I bloody love drum and bass so much. When did you first get into rapping, and how did you actually get into that?
That was again similar sort of time, really. I was about 16, 17, and then last year at school, just hanging out with guys that were just into it, and just sort of escalated into there. I mean, I've got to admit, like, I haven't really wrote any raps or anything or any bars for like ages now, man. Like ages. Same on my beatboxing. Like that was actually, I should say, that was how I got into the hip hop side of things. Is that I heard what was it, Razel, If Your Mother Only Knew, like the classic, like, which I'm pretty sure anyone in our sort of age range would have like said, if they were into beatboxing, that was one of the first things that they heard, because it was like pre-YouTube and all that sort of stuff as well. So you had to actually like find it on humanbeatbox.com and listen to all the little battles or whatever they had on there. So I started doing beatboxing and then had a go at like writing a few little bars and stuff, and kind of put it there. But I've always enjoyed it. Like, like
the beatboxing and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, a couple guys that I hung out with as well, like they were beatboxers as well, so we'd kind of battle each other and like test each other and and teach each other that way. But it was mostly just trying to imitate at first, imitation, and then figuring out what I could do or try and find my own little unique sounds or whatever it was. But man, I mean, I still do it like occasionally, but now I just sort of go along with like some drum and bass on in the background or whatever. You know what I mean?
I really, really was quite upset when you said that you stopped beatboxing.
Oh, I apologize, man. I apologize.
I think you are one of the most talented beatboxers that I've had the honor of various stages, to be honest. Like you do crazy things with your mouth.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much. That can be the tagline for this show. He does crazy things with his mouth.
Yeah, tune in. We've got to watch the video to understand,
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, what have you just decided you don't want to do it anymore?
It's just trying to focus more on the comedy side of stuff, and just trying to focus on different things in my life. I want to, like I was saying earlier, go through that sort of change, I guess. You know, I'm looking at going back to uni, actually, is what I'm hoping to do. Is go back, do a psychology degree with a PGCE thing, so I can basically become a psychology teacher. Is the avenue I'm going down, but there's a lot of hurdles and stuff I've got to jump through first. With all, like, say, all this corona nonsense doesn't help, but that's where I'm focused on. So that's why I'm trying to just focus solely on that.
I think you would be a fantastic teacher.
Thanks, man.
I think you should definitely. I think you should probably be teaching adults or older people, not kids.
I don't want to deal with those parents' evenings. Do you know what I mean? Like, what have you been putting inside my kid's head? Like, just knowledge, man. Just knowledge. They know everything now. They just question me at home all the time. It's like, they need to
question everything. Yes, for sure. So what's the pathway of that then? Have you got like Can you just go straight to university, or have you got? Because I guess you've not studied for what, over a decade, probably, right?
Yeah, quite well. I graduated from Birmingham eight years ago now. I think 7-8 years ago, something like that. So
what's your degree in now?
Film and visual effects. Which, yeah, that I really used it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was fun. It was wicked to do. I got lots of good memories from doing it, and it's where I met my missus, who's now my wife to be. So that was the best thing that came out of that experience. The best thing, the best person. Yeah, best thing. So yeah, I guess like I'd be able to use those credits or whatever it is and find a way in that way. But my problem at the moment is I don't know where I'm going to be living. That's a problem. I'm going to be moving somewhere in the country, depending on where my missus is with her job. So we're basically in that process of just figuring out where we're going to be, and then I can go, right, I'll go to, because I want to go back to a uni. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to do the open university or anything. Not there's anything wrong with the open uni at all. It's just I know what I'm like with trying to self-study. Yep. And I'm better to have somebody there and go, right, you need to have this done by this date, and we'll look at X, Y, and Z and whatever, whatever it is. But,
does your girlfriend work in film or visual?
No, she's a singer by trade. To be fair, she's a classically trained singer, so she does like operas and that sort of jazz. Whoa. Which it's cool, man. She's really good.
Awesome.
But she does that, and she does like a lot of music teaching and stuff, and she also does teaching. So it's cool. Then it's funny, like hearing her do a practice, because when she's practicing and she'll sit there quietly and she's like reading, like going along with the music and just sort of quietly reading the Italian or Spanish or Latin or whatever the.
Oh, of course, it's all in another language, right? Operas aren't really in English.
No, not normally. But so she'll be sitting there like kind of doing this, and I swear she's like, sounds like she's summoning demons or something. I'm sitting there trying to play the PlayStation and just chill, and she's like, it's creepy.
It sounds like it's maybe it's a cover. Maybe the opera.
Yeah, she's not actually an opera singer. She's the right-hand lady of Beelzebub, and I just didn't know.
Oh, whoa. That's pretty cool, actually.
I really hope she's not fucking watching this now.
Wow, you've got the opportunity. You've got a platform to say wonderful things, and I'm pretty sure most of what you said is wonderful. You've been complimenting. Even the right-hand of Beelzebub would be quite a compliment, I think.
Oh yeah, true. I mean, if she was going to be down there, she'd be up at the top of the echelons. She wouldn't just be like getting tortured somewhere. She'd be like, no, I'm working my way up out of this. Don't you worry. I'll be number 2 in charge.
Running things on the 7th ring of Dante.
Nice. Isn't that what we all aspire for?
Yes, definitely. I want to actually ask you about something that you're definitely not an expert on, but it's obviously an important topic at the moment, and important to not spread misinformation. So I wanted to get your opinion on COVID and about how the government are handling it. In the UK, I'm not really sure what's happening. I've been told various things by different people, so I'd like to hear from you how it is, and what you think they're doing wrong, what they're doing right, and how they could fix it.
That's what are they doing right? Well, I can not a lot. There you go. There's 3 words. But like I say, I'm not a medical expert. I wouldn't know, but
pretend to be.
Yeah, okay. How they've handled it, I think, is pretty appalling, which is to be expected from, Boris Johnson. He's just a fucking buffoon. He's just an idiot.
Plonker.
Like, he's what I can't remember what they were saying how many meetings he missed. He missed all like the Cobra meetings and all the briefings on it, and went off on his holidays and all that sort of jazz. They just seem like a bunch of incompetent, uncaring assholes is really how they come across to me. And the way that, like I say, they're still so quick to try and shift all the focus away from any sort of numbers or any sort of scandal onto things like, oh, there's immigrants in boats on the channel, quick, look this way, don't look at all the fuck ups we've done, look over here. But then at the same time, they're quite happy in the papers to, there was some sort of deadline for people to get out of France or something like that the other day for Brits, I think, to get back.
Yeah, I think this weekend, isn't it? I think.
Yeah. And they had in the Daily Mail, surprise, these fucking pictures of and headlines of basically just saying, "Oh, British people really struggling, had to leave their kids behind, and some of them had to charter fishing boats to get across and get home." And you're just sort of thinking, well, you're fine when it's English white people. Let's be real. And then, but when it's people like fleeing a war zone, it's a completely different ballgame. I've digressed a little bit there, but
no, you're right. Though,
but it links back to that, like you say, the misinformation of it all, and it doesn't help when you've got conspiracy theories left, right, and centre popping up. Of again, people just tapping away, going, "I believe all of this is happening," and with the power of the internet, loads of people go, "Yeah, that sounds legit." And you're thinking. Like the one that blows my mind is people saying that this is some sort of COVID cover-up to take down the elite paedophile ring of Hollywood, and Donald Trump's trying to like take down the pedos of Hollywood and stuff. I'm like, really? They need a global pandemic to do that.
Whoa, that's. I mean, I have seen some pretty disturbing things about the levels of the number of pedophiles in in power, and I've got no doubt that there's pedos at every fucking level of society, high society, or society in general. But like to think that I just feel that people get their tinfoil hats on and they find any connection to just see that that everything is connected on a way that is just not even tangible.
That's the nice easy link for any conspiracy theorist to go, oh well, this must mean this because this happened here, and if you look back at this thing, and it's just taking all the wires and crisscrossing them, and maybe there is some links here or there, maybe there is some some serious fuckery going on that we don't know about. But then if that's the case, you don't know about it. Just get on with your life and enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah,
that's like I was trying to say before, is you're going out and you try and criticize the world and say like all of this shit's going on and we need to change this. Well, what are you doing to make yourself better first so that you can then address that problem? And
that's so true.
You've got to pick your battles. There's so many, like I say with the whole, I watched the other day that Jeffrey Epstein thing on Netflix.
Oh, is it any good?
It's not easy to watch, to be honest with you, because of the details and the crimes. It makes you kind of, and you just feel terrible for these women and the similarity between the stories and just how he just wrapped people around in this sick little web of his. It's like I say, it sounds really weird to say, but it's interesting.
Yeah,
but it's
of course,
it's an interesting case, but it's just fucking disturbing, like how he got away with it. But like I say that. Off the back of that, and again with this whole the conspiracy theorists want to make you believe that there's a pedo on every fucking corner, and that everybody's trying to steal your kids and all this sort of stuff, and it just it puts out so much more fear into the world, where it's like, well, let's fucking and they cry that, but then they cry defund the police. Well, it's like, well, if you want to catch the pedos, you can't defund the police. Like, pick your battle. Which one do you want?
We want it all. We want it all, and we want it now. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And we want to do it from behind our screens.
We want to be oppressed and oppressor at the same time. And it just
for sure
makes no fucking sense. But yeah, back to the COVID thing. Sorry, again, just keep.
That's all right. No worries.
Jumping about, but I don't know what they could have done, what they could do now. Sorry, to really make it much better, because like. They knew this was going to happen. They knew it was coming from Italy and Spain and obviously China as well, like the way it had spread across. So immediately you'd have thought any sort of competent person would go, right, shut down the airports, start testing people, get masks ready, get lockdown ready. We're going to have to stop for a little bit to just make sure that we get this under control and like thousands don't fucking die. Evidently, they just went, nah, you'll be fine. Let Cheltenham races go ahead. Like, we've got nothing to worry about. We'll do the British stiff upper lip and we'll just let it run through the country. Like, what planet is this guy living on? You know what I mean?
But now it seems that the UK is even stricter than everywhere else. Like in the Netherlands, we've had a lockdown which has been very, very chilled. Like there was a few months where everyone went to work. Like we still worked, but we just had you had to social distance, keep 1.5 meters from people, and when you're in shops, you had to push around shopping trolleys all the time so that you weren't going near people. and then masks on public transport, and they stopped all events, and they closed down like pubs and stuff for about a month, and gyms, or maybe 2 months, but then they've reopened everything for the past like 2-3 months now. And people just have to wear masks on transport and keep their distances.
What have the cases been like in the Netherlands though?
It's been pretty low.
I stopped following the numbers after the first few weeks, because I was like, this just seems like it's going to go crazy.
Well, I mean, for the most densely populated country in Europe, it's not really. It's not.
Is it the most? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Cool. So there are 21.5 million cases worldwide confirmed.
Yeah.
And the Netherlands has had 62,000 cases. So like there's been a lot of cases, but it's also really difficult because, I'm not a doctor. So, disclaimer, what I say probably is wrong. But I don't understand how to read the statistics correctly, because they're taken and they're used in so many different ways. So like I see some newspapers or some countries, I follow the news in different countries, and they spin it in a certain way that it looks terrible. And some ways they spin the same statistic in a good way to make it look good. I've seen some pretty weird things in England. I saw something about where was it? Was it Northampton or Norwich maybe? And it said, cases are up 600%, which looked, that's a scary number to hear. And then I actually looked into it, and there were six cases. It went from one case. Yeah.
So if you take the extreme of the statistic, which you can easily do, the numbers make anything look scary.
Yeah.
So easily. So I saw. There was another one, something to do with like the immigration policy, and it was something like 49. No, sorry, it was the vaccine. If they come up with a vaccine, 49% of Britons would refuse to take it, or something ridiculous like that. I don't know if it was exactly that amount, but it's again just trying to use the numbers to make you go, no. Again, which side am I on? Do I want it? Do I not want it?
I mean, I just don't know and where I stand with it all, because obviously there are people dying, but I also then read things about deaths that are not from COVID. Like I've seen there's been people whose family members have died 100% from something not related to COVID. In fact, there was one guy who had a motorbike crash. He died, and his death was recorded as a COVID death because he was positive for COVID-19. He didn't realize.
Yeah.
That's scary, because then again, I'm probably now, what I'm doing is exactly what we just said we shouldn't be doing, and I'm now creating conspiracy theories. But it makes me think, what would be the reason of inflating deaths? Because obviously it doesn't look good on a government, lots of people dying. So
no,
I understand them falsely playing down deaths, which is bad, they shouldn't do, but I can see their logic for that to seem good. But then also, why there are definitely cases, and there are definitely areas of deaths being marked as COVID, people with dying of a heart attack, and then they happen to be positive of COVID, but there wasn't that caused it. They were like grossly overweight and they had a heart attack.
Have they had any? Because I'd heard about this and seen that they dropped the numbers quite a lot in the UK, apparently, because of that reason of deaths being labeled wrongly. So again, some random conspiracy theory said if you add it all up, there's only been 1,000 deaths from COVID. And I'm kind of thinking, really? Like they've got 49,000 wrong? I can't imagine that being the case, but
it's probably something in the middle, isn't it? I mean, they're probably both they're probably not as accurate, and they're probably nowhere near as accurate as they claim to be, and it's probably not 1,000 either. That's probably the extreme.
So I'm just wondering if there's been any medical. There's got to be some medical professional out there that's answered the question and said this is why they might have been put down as a COVID death. Because there's got to be some reason. Like you say, if there's a chap that's been in a motorbike accident or something like that, and because he's positive for it, he gets put down as a COVID death. Is that something to do with for research purposes, or just because of the pandemic that's going on? Do you know what I mean? Is there a logical reason behind it?
I don't know. I mean, it's let's have a look. I'll see what Google says. I mean, that's probably the most qualified thing.
The answer again.
How can bodies who die from COVID? Nope. What is the mortality rate? Well, the mortality rate, according to the World Health Organization, is they think it's more like 0.6%. So it's actually way lower than people
what they initially,
yeah,
what they thought it was.
The World Health Organization said 2 to 3% originally, and then some people were saying no, it's going to be like 6% or 7%, and they were comparing it to like old pandemics like 100 years ago, and
Spanish flu and stuff.
And then
I think that's inevitable when an outbreak happens, and especially as rapidly as it spread, you're almost going to. It's like those guys back in the stock market back in the day that would overinflate the value of the company just so they could make a little bit more and make it look like they were doing better. So it's almost that's probably a really shit analogy actually. Do you see what I mean? Like,
yeah, definitely. I mean,
if you overestimate it and say, look, there's been 100,000 deaths, then everybody should theoretically take everything a bit more seriously until they've got it under control and can go, okay, actually it's not as bad as we thought, but you may as well go the full hog straight away to make sure you can then bring it back.
It looks better as well, right? If you say, oh, there's going to be like, we think there's going to be 3% deaths or 5% deaths, and then like it actually turns out it's 0.6%, you can say, look what a bloody great job we did. You know what? I deserve to take that holiday at the start. I deserve to,
yeah, I'll have another kickback. Thank you. Thank you. Some oil baron. Yeah, no worries. Where do you want to start fracking? That's fine, mate. No problem.
Yes. Oh my God. Wow. That's something that's gone a bit quiet, hasn't it? Fracking.
Yeah, it was. There was. I think it was up in Northampton here or somewhere up in Old Lancashire somewhere. But they were really pushing for it to like try and get the fracking started. And fair play to the locals and everybody that kept just turning up and holding hands and going, "We are strong. You're not gonna frack our hometown." And just that's proper stopped them.
Wow,
people power. People power.
Those deep, profound lyrics there.
We are strong.
Deep lyrics and a catchy melody. It's the way to change the world for sure.
I don't know, man. Michael Jackson tried that for years, didn't he? And he got so far.
Yeah, but I think he probably having like children sleep in his bed might have probably affected the whole.
Bit, yeah.
Hey,
I'm going to change the world. Come on, children. No, Mike, leave the kids. Leave the kids here. They can't dig. They're too young. They don't.
I'm doing the children. I mean, doing it for the children.
I'm doing the children for the children.
Oh my God. What do you think about? Have you heard about the whole thing of Michael Jackson being castrated? Have you?
Oh, he was chemically castrated. And, like back in the day.
Do you think that's true?
Who cares anymore? The guy's dead. Do you know what I mean? Like, even if it was, like, what difference does it make to what happens to him now? He was just, the poor guy was just talented as fuck, but clearly loopy.
For sure.
A few sandwiches short of a picnic basket.
I think that's generally what happens when you have a child with such talent and you have parents which are just, so obsessed with their child becoming famous. It's really abusive, I mean, obviously he was actually abused, but like, I think in general, when you see like these like beauty pageant, kids and like, like dancing girls and stuff, and they're like 6 years old and their mums are doing it, I just want them to be a tap dancer, and it's all like they're just, the whole life is about it, and the poor kid like is gonna have some mental damage.
What was that Honey Boo Boo? Do you remember her a few years ago?
Honey Boo Boo.
Yeah, she was like, I think she got put into pageants and stuff, but she was one of those American reality shows, and her mum was just this big American lady, one of those that's like, it looks like a bullfrog. I think she lost a lot of weight now, but like at the time she just had a big bullfrog sort of face going on, and the kid was mental because they just kept feeding her with Red Bull and fucking God knows what.
So sad.
Yeah.
And she was on TV. Like there was an actual.
Oh yeah. I think there was a couple series, at least a couple seasons of it. And it's like, I'm Honey Boo Boo. Look at me shake my belly. Like, no, you're really
not fair.
You're 8 years old, for fuck's sake. You should be. You shouldn't look like a beach ball. Sorry, you shouldn't be that size at 8.
That's something that I feel is really, really important and gets completely like you're not allowed to talk about, this is the whole PC, maybe the left. I think it's a thing with the left is obesity. Like it seems that you cannot, what you just said then, people will be angry at, I am sure that people will listen to this and be like, don't fucking judge because, she's just big and blah, 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 she's beautiful and all this stuff. It's like, well, no, like this is unhealthy. Like you're when you're obese, your actual health is being affected by you're at risk. You're going to die younger and you're going to live a less healthy, happy life because of your diet. And that's the thing people can't, I don't know, it's a taboo to talk about. It's like,
I think it's the way that you go about it, isn't it? Again, like if you're just out there pointing and laughing and going,
who ate all the pies?
Exactly, yeah. Look at the chunky. That's just mean. That's just bullying. But like, of course, given the facts of the situation and saying, listen, excuse me, like being of over a certain weight, like say, it's detrimental to your health. And not only that, like it's a bit gross. Mm-hmm. The idea that like there's those like plus size models. I hate that term, plus size model, because you're just a model. Like if you put the plus size into it, it's not that it's normalizing like or saying that big isn't beautiful or anything like that, because everyone's got their own preference. We all pick our flowers from the garden. Do you know what I mean? Some people like little ones and some people like big bunches of flowers, and there's nothing wrong with that. And if you're happy, that's the main thing. If you're happy in yourself and you're happy shoving pies into your face and all the rest of it, good for you. But don't try and normalize it as this sort of way to live, as like as if it's like not a healthier option, but like it's a sensible option, because it's not.
I don't honestly think that you really can be truly happy. Like, I mean, I'm not saying that every single person who is obese is depressed, but I feel that deep down, if you break it down, or if you speaking to people who were obese and have lost that weight, who before said that they were happy with it, have all said that like it's a coping mechanism, like they eat because like they eat when they feel sad, or they eat when they, to deal with something, or that it's just, it's it's an addiction. And like most people, I think the sane mind does not find addiction as a positive thing. Of course, in the moment it's comforting, if doing that lines, injecting that thing, getting pissed all the time, like in the moment it's a coping mechanism. It's a way of making yourself either numb to something or feeling something.
Dude, absolutely. I'm sitting here saying about like people eating loads of pies and all the rest of it, but I smoke, so it's
really,
it's no, I'm trying to quit. Like I'm trying. I'm really trying. He says.
What is that? What is trying? What's the longest you've gone?
Longest without smoking? Yeah. Dude, I don't even know, man. Like less, not even a day for a while.
Really?
It's an addiction. It gets you.
How long have you smoked for?
15 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Probably
a good time to stop.
Yeah. But again, replace cigarette with pie. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Like you're getting quite fat. You should probably stop. You're gonna be seriously ill. Yeah. I like my burgers. Fuck off.
There are positive addictions though. You can find. You could get into. You hear like heroin addicts who get obsessed with running. That's the whole thing. Train spotting, isn't it? They do that.
Yeah.
There's I personally, like, for sure, I don't feel I've ever been severely addicted to something, but I've definitely drank too much. I could say I've been addicted to alcohol without even realizing it. Like at the time I never thought it, but like excessive drinking and not really excessive drug taking, always just recreational. I think I've had a healthy tab on that, but like drinking and eating shit. I've just replaced that with sports. Like now I'm obsessed with all these different sports, and so far there's been no negative. In fact, the only thing is there's been positive outcomes from it. Apart from maybe someone might choke me out, and
but that's a learning curve, and
exactly,
next time how you might avoid getting choked out.
Well, I know how to tap, so that's so,
tapping you good. No, you're absolutely right, man. It's about taking that whatever it is that you're addicted to, and like I say, replacing it with something that becomes habitual in itself. I mean, that's what I've tried to do. We've got a treadmill recently, just a little cheapy one. So yeah, I'm trying to utilize that instead and just get back onto the fitter, healthier lifestyle.
Well, you're looking pretty healthy, man. I don't know, maybe it's because of the, you've got the webcam set up nicely, lighting.
I knew I was going to be on camera, so I've like put just a little base on, a little light base. Just a little eyeliner or whatever. No, I'm joking.
Wow, you look great. Yeah, you look younger than I last saw you. Although last time I saw you was probably at the end of a weekend in a festival in a field after.
And everybody looks about 3 years older for at least a week after a decent festival, man.
Yeah, I feel like I definitely aged myself doing the festivals like as a job.
Are you still doing? Are you going to do any more Cru Salam stuff or anything? Or
I would like to. I mean, we've still got the tent and we've still got the equipment. It's in the UK at my friend's parents' farm. So sorry about that. I promise you, it will come soon. Hopefully, hopefully you're going to bring it out to the Netherlands. And I would really like to put on at least, I'd like to do one festival a year, but do the whole thing myself, or with the crew. But run the whole thing, a small one. I've actually. I've always wanted to do that. I don't know how possible this will be. I'd like to do a festival in the Netherlands, a festival in Portugal, which is somewhere that I've been looking at getting land in Portugal.
Cool.
It's my friend just bought a piece of land there for €1,000, a couple of acres of land.
Oh, nice.
About £800.
Were they like they needed the investment, or is it just like, hey, do you want a bit of Portugal? Yeah. Sure.
It's just so cheap there. Yeah, like it's crazy. Like you can literally buy, a few acre field and build yourself a little cabin on it, and you can spend a couple of grand. It's insane. Nice. So like I'd like to do something. I'm working.
I've just changed my life plan now, and I might have to just go after this. Look that up.
Check it out, man. I'll send you a link to this. There's a few websites. With bits of land for sale, and anywhere between 1,000 and a million, but the generally under £5,000 you can get nice pieces of land with fruit trees, sometimes with a stream running through it. They're agricultural land, so you're not allowed to build, like you couldn't build a big house on it, but you can build a agricultural building. This is what my friend's done or doing. So the agricultural building can be a tractor shed, but that can have a kitchen and a bathroom and a bedroom in it. It just has to, the doors have to be big enough technically to put farm machinery in, etc. Yeah. So like you can build that and live there, or you could build that and have it. This is really cheap holiday place. It's really great.
Sweet, man.
So I want to I'd like to. The goal is to set something up there. I want to do a psychedelic retreat charity where people who are terminally ill can go with their partners and have psychedelic assisted therapy, so they can take like DMT or LSD or psilocybin or MDMA with like a psychologist or psychoanalyst.
Where was that in? Was it in Canada? They've just started. They passed that law that's now, is that passed as a law? I think they're trying to.
Yeah, they're trying to pass it. There is, it's starting to happen. I know in Colorado they've just legalized certain psychedelics, so magic mushrooms, and I think a load of psychedelics have been legalized.
Colorado just sounds like a real out there progressive place, doesn't it, man? Like every time anything like that's coming out of America, it always seems to start in Colorado.
Man, it's and Colorado's beautiful as well. It's stunning. It's like beautiful place. It's sparsely populated. It's not like overrun with people. People there are super chilled, and they're really progressive and forward thinking. It's I could see myself, one day settling in the States or Canada. Really, that's they're the like Western Canada, BC, or Washington State or Colorado or Northern California or Oregon are the kind of states I could see myself living in.
I love that you've just given yourself a wide range there.
Man.
Any of those states will do, and they're all massive. Yeah. They're all like twice the size of Britain, if not more.
Oh, ridiculously big. Like let's have a look at California square miles. Let's have a look. Compare that to UK square miles. I like this, having a second screen so I can do quick fact checking of things.
Quick fact checks.
So California is 423, basically 424,000 square kilometers.
Right.
It doesn't say miles when I search it. And then the UK, that is all of the UK, which comes to 240,000. So it's more than double all of the UK. England is 130, so it's like 4 times the size of England. So one state, and that's quite a small state.
Yeah.
I mean, Texas is huge.
I saw some again, if you got some random fact checker, you can look this one up, but apparently you could take everyone on the planet, put them shoulder to shoulder, and they'd fit in Texas.
So look, I'm going to Google everyone on the planet in Texas. Let's put everybody into Texas.
Would that work? Have I told the truth?
Can everyone on the planet fit Texas? Did you know the world's population could fit in the state of Texas? Amazing as it seems, the entire population of the world can be housed in the US state of Texas very comfortably indeed, with each person enjoying a living far in excess of that now available to all but the most wealthy. Whoa.
Well, there you go.
That is really crazy. Texas is 700,000 square kilometers. So
I can't imagine Texas being too happy with all of those people to imagine.
I think there's a lot of ranchers
take yourself out of here, boy. Yeah, welcome around here.
I think is there more guns than people in Texas?
Probably. There's more tigers in captivity in Texas than there are in the wild.
Oh my God, that is insane.
Yeah. I think I saw I think it was on a Joe Rogan stand-up or something. He was talking about that.
Oh my God.
Madness.
Texas doesn't actually have the most guns per people. It has, let's have a look at this. Texas has 12.8 guns per every 1,000. So that's 1.8, 1.2 guns per every 100. So there's not quite one gun for every person, but that includes children as well. Okay. Wyoming has the most. There are 195 guns per every 1,000 person, which has 114,000 registered firearms in a population of 580,000 people. That's
fucking hell, man.
That's a lot of guns.
That's a lot of guns, yeah. You only need one, really. I mean, or two maybe. I'll give you a handgun and one big gun. You get one handgun, one big gun. That's it. Like you don't need any more than that.
I think yes, that's correct. But then again, like people say, you only need one guitar, and I've got like 7 guitars. Like, I can see I like to collect things. I could see myself, once I do enjoy shooting. I've actually got a bow and a crossbow.
Nice.
And I do collect knives. Like I've got some really.
Well, I was going to say you can't kill someone with a guitar, but you easily could kill someone.
Oh, you can. I've heard some terrible musicians. I think suicide at least by guitar. But you could probably bash somebody with a guitar or.
For me, probably yourself as well, but like the whole gun culture is just so just a mystery to me.
It's bizarre
because I've never grown. I've held a shotgun once, I think, when I went clay pigeon shooting, and I was shit at that. So I was like, this just doesn't interest me at all.
Are you from the countryside? Like
not proper country, but like out in the sticks a little bit. Yeah, I never really. Yeah, I didn't grow up in a city or anything like that. It was like small villages and small towns, kind of thing. But yeah, I just can't imagine like even needing it. You know what I mean? It just makes no sense to me. But I think that's one of the freedoms of America and stuff, isn't it? Like right to bear arms and all that jazz.
I do like the freedom aspect of American society. I do think that free speech is really, really important, and it shocked me. I didn't really realize. I didn't realize growing up in the UK that we don't actually have free speech, and that it's actually quite restrictive.
In what sense? What do you mean?
Let's have a look. No free speech in the UK. Well, let's have a look. So there are laws around, like what you can say, like breaching the peace, for example. Like the police I've seen quite a lot of videos about people online who have been saying certain things, in public, not like saying vulgar things in front of like crowds of people, but saying something, and the police have said, well, actually, this is breach of the peace. We don't have free speech here in the UK, so don't think you could. People go, well, this is a free country, and the cops go, actually, no, it's not.
Yeah, click, come with us. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Here we go. Article 10 of the Human Rights Act in the UK says everyone has the right of freedom of expression, but this freedom may be subject to formalities, conditions, restrictions, and penalties as prescribed by law. So that essentially means,
I suppose, because is that not relating to like sort of the like hate speech and stuff like that though as well? Because it's interesting that if you're not allowed to do, I mean, I know it's changed recently, but like when old Katie Hopkins was really going hell for leather on Twitter and some of the stuff that she was coming out with, and people again would defend it as free speech and she's entitled to say those sorts of things. Well, surely that's like an online breach of the peace. It's essentially, if you're going down that route, there should be digital laws, obviously, for what you can and can't say online. But then again, where do you draw the line of what the difference is between freedom of expression, freedom of speech, and then what is then hate expression or hate crime or whatever?
I think like inciting something is where, I don't know, for me, I feel that like that's drawing the line. When you can say that you hate a certain kind of person, and okay, I disagree with you, but like I believe like you have the right to, at least by you saying that, at least brings attention to the fact that you have this fucked up view, and hopefully I can create dialogue around it. Most likely not, but like when people aren't able to express themselves, well, people still have these thoughts. I think it's when you go out and you incite acts that are violent or hateful acts. So to be like, you can't just say like, oh, I hate women, like maybe you can say you hate women. Not saying it's fine to hate women, of course, but I feel it's fine to say that. But if you go out and if you say, I hate women, go kill a woman, or like fucking go, we should stab bitches, or whatever.
Yeah. Like, it's the intent behind the words, isn't it? And again, somebody that's coming out with a very strong opinion has either been manipulated to believe that opinion. Well, maybe has possibly been manipulated to believe that opinion, or they've in their head got a legitimate reason for their opinion. Like maybe they had a bad experience with insert ethnic group here. Do you know what I mean? Or they just kept getting dumped by woman after woman after woman, and it just turned them into or not dumped as such, but they were just having a bad experience because
they got rejected. Probably is the most.
They got rejected over and over and over and over and over again, and they just ended up going, well, there must be something wrong with them, not me. Like, fucked a lot of it. And that's where serial killers come from, kids. I don't know.
That's where incels come from.
Well, yeah.
And it's a shame because like all of these things are that we're blaming external things for these internal issues, which essentially are, of course, maybe you are, maybe like you're great inside and women are judging you because you're really grotesque and ugly, but I think it's probably more likely that there's
a possibility there
you act grotesque and ugly and you've got a tiny cock and you always get it out and you just you don't have to speak to women, so
maybe you're just harassing the fuck out of them. Maybe that's the problem. Like
people that kind of thing. I see like people don't like rejection, and obviously no one likes rejection, but people rather than accept it, it's like that whole thing, like I hear guys do it now, like, and I can think of in school, a guy will be like, make a move on a girl will reject her and he'll be like, fucking slag.
It's something wrong with her. Not maybe that the lady just isn't attracted to you or doesn't like you. Like,
5 minutes
there's
ago,
a problem with but it's a kind of like that male, especially for like young, like when you're coming up as well, when puberty hits and all the rest of it, and you're trying to discover like how do I approach a member of the whatever sex it is that I'm attracted to, whether that's whether you're straight or gay or whatever it is. That's all a learning curve, always. So there's going to be, like, I'm pretty sure that every guy at some point has made some woman feel not necessarily unsafe, but just a little bit awkward or a bit uncomfortable because you've just been testing the waters. Like maybe you send a flirty comment, or you try and be a bit flirty, and it just comes out as creepy and fucking weird. And I know that's happened. That's definitely happened to me, man.
Oh, for sure, that's happened to me
loads of times, right? And then you just walk away with that. There's two ways for the guy to handle that. Then you either walk away with just your head in your hands and be like, Christ, that was horrendous. I feel like an absolute asshole. Or like you were just saying, you blame the person that has rejected you.
Yeah.
And say like, oh, it's your fault. And then you end up an asshole.
I think when you're young and insecure, it kind of makes sense. Like I'm not sure off the top of my head if I'm sure that's happened, but I'm not sure if I've I probably have blamed. In fact, I can't think of an example, but I'm pretty sure that I will have blamed at some point it on the girl rejecting me.
Yeah, I know I've been in that headspace before. But like I say, it's when you're younger, you can get away with those awkward moments, and if you don't learn by a certain point, like okay, it's not okay to just ooga booga and just
get it out, like
exactly. It's about treating, like you see this argument on social media platforms and stuff, like with some of these groups of like, how do we stop toxic masculinity or like sexual harassment or stuff like, it's like, unfortunately, like sexual harassment or just harassment in general is like a lot of horrible things in the world, probably never going to fully go away. There's always going to be someone along the line that is just either a little bit tweaked or is just a bit fucking weird.
Yeah.
I think it's more about teaching young men, especially, just to respect. It's just a respect thing more than anything. It's respect, patience, and listening. And if you teach those things, obviously there's like a lot more, that's very simplified, but just having respect and patience and understanding that A, it's not all about you. So you're not always going to get what you want.
Yeah.
And B, you have to respect the other person's wants and desires and all that. And if they're all over you, wicked. If they're being a bit standoffish or whatever it is, then you've got to be able to read and judge those situations. Otherwise, you're just going to end up bitter and resentful that you're not getting what you want all the time.
That's difficult though, because people play games with each other. So like people play hard to get on purpose. Like I've spoken to like girls that I've been with, and they said, I caught, like right in the beginning, like I wanted to feel you wanting me more, so I played this game, and then am I reading it wrong? Is it like they're not interested? Do I push it further? If I push it further, is that like, am I then infringing on their, am I getting all molesty? I don't know, whatever the right word for it is, creepy.
I had one years ago when I was messaging this girl, and we kind of knew each other a little bit. It was like friend of a friend kind of thing. And nothing like, we weren't really being overly flirty or into each other or whatever. And then randomly one day out of the blue, she sent me a message, I've just been shopping, So, oh, cool, buy anything nice. And then she just sent me a picture of a few sets of underwear that she'd bought, right? Mm-hmm. Of all the things, it's not a bag of oranges. It's not what you're baking or what you're having for tea. It's your personals.
Yeah.
A few more comments. Then like a week or so later, I said, oh, would you maybe like to go link up, go for a drink sometime? She went, oh, I just don't see you that way. Well, then why in the fuck did you send me a picture of your pants?
Like, did you raise that with her? Did you?
No, I just thought, what's the fucking point?
I mean, there probably isn't a point in raising it. I guess it would create more issues, but I do think that like that kind of thing needs to be addressed in a respectful way, because people just need to communicate more. Like the sexes don't communicate, and like there should be, I believe there should be at school, like classes on adulting. I had no idea how to be a real adult in the big world. Like no one told me, like, not to be selfish all the time. No one told me, how to. Obviously, there's sex education. You're taught basic. I fucking put a condom on a carrot. I knew how to like, shag. But like, I did that before sex education class even started, I think. So
I was gonna say, I've just got an image now of just little like 14-year-old Ash be like, I know how to shag. Yeah. I've put Johnny's on carrots. Like I know what it's all about, man. I've got it.
Oh my god,
I've got this stuff down.
Well,
but I get what you mean. Like absolutely, because stupid things as well, like taxes, bank accounts, all that sort of jazz. Like you just get kicked out after school. It's like, right, you did some GCSEs, you know the basics. See you later. Like off you go into the big wide world.
how I've been shocked with like the number of my friends that I've like maybe gone on holiday or lived with temporarily. You know, like I know I've lived in a bunch of like squats and stuff with people, and like people who generally did not know how to use a washing machine or how to turn on an oven, and like generally guys like you know, which again is probably in some kind of inherent sexism where, you know, maybe their household it
was
women
that did the washing up, so the guys just never bothered to learn, kind of thing,
which is
or just expected it of her, which is again, like you say, that.
And then they feel like, you know, and at some point, you know, you're in a house and it's like, oh yeah, we've got to wash your clothes, and like, oh, shit, like, you know, and I've had like people come to me and ask me, embarrassed, like, how do I use the washing machine?
Yeah.
And like, don't worry, I'll show you how to do it. You know, Mummy's got you covered.
Yeah. and you don't want to feel like a prick either, and turn around and be like, really? Like,
yeah, I always do, but no, but I shouldn't, obviously. Yeah,
you got to give someone a bit of stick, and you just be like, come on, like. I did a few weeks ago. I was at work and someone walked past me, a couple of customers, and I heard this woman say to her mum, a grown woman, it's not like a little girl or anything. She went, "Mum, what's in burgers?"
What?
Yeah, I was like, well, just flip the packet over; it'll fucking tell you right away. Like beef. Yeah. There you go. Like just squash some beef into a patty. That's it. I was like, how do you not know what's in a? How have you got this far?
Was this a person? Like roughly
mid-20s.
Holy shit! Oh my
god! With kids as well.
Yeah, I think there's an issue with people breeding who maybe shouldn't breed. I mean, I might come across a bit like
that's starting a conspiracy theory right there, man. Like, there's definitely people that shouldn't breed. That's just eugenics. That's what we don't want to
go. I feel like it instantly put myself in the kind of Hitler bracket there. So it's out there. I've just said it on the internet, but I don't actually necessarily mean like I should stop people breeding.
Tweet an apology.
I just think people should think. Well, that's a problem. You know, maybe in 10 years' time, this podcast will, you know, they'll end me. You know, I'll be seen as a heralding leader of the left, and then at some point, someone will be like, "Do you see episode 15 of Shifty Perspective?" Yeah. When back in 2020, when he fucking said that people shouldn't have babies because they can't read burger packets. Bloody Nazi. Yeah. You know, like,
but imagine if you weren't on that platform. You'd be like, yeah, I was vindicated, man. I told you. I did it. I did it the right way.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Oh my God. I'm quite surprised. I'm just looking now. We've done well over an hour already. This is great. Awesome. Is there anything that you want to like chat about? Anything you want to cover? You know,
I say no, like that.
Okay, fine. Bye. See you later.
Cheers. Thanks, everybody. See ya.
What about your what's your plans with the comedy once lockdown starts? Are you going to start doing nights?
Absolutely. I'd like to again. Hopefully, it was a great little cafe in Worcester. So if you're ever in Worcester, come through to Paradiddles. Real nice little independent cafe they got down there that I was doing the nights on. So once the social distancing thing works out, or whatever, because it's really nice, but it's a very intimate venue. So the room is quite small. So to try and do any sort of distancing might limit you to. I mean, literally, I think the capacity for that one was like it's about 30 people. So it's real nice because when you get like the good laughs, it fills the room. It sounds, you know, gives a big sound. But if you were doing any social distancing in there, fucking, I don't know, 5 people, 6 people maybe, which isn't quite the same.
No, you don't really want to be, because like if not everybody laughs, then it can be really shit. Because you know, if you got a room where there's like 50 people in and a few people laugh, then that can still fill the room. But like, you know,
well, I had this gig when I'd first started, and I'd maybe done three little 10-minute slots. So I had 30 minutes of stand-up under my belt. And then through someone that my missus was working with, she was putting on a baby shower or a bridal shower or something for her and like 8 of her girlfriends. And my missus had mentioned that I'd started comedy. She's like, I'd really like some comedians there. So she got in touch with me to go to this bridal shower, a baby shower, sorry, and host.
What is that, by the way? Sorry, like baby shower, is that where they that's where they give
like
presents
and stuff.
It's
Yeah,
not showering a baby.
That's really twisted. Like they do
really strange. Yeah, we
just
want
hold
you
a
to come and
baby
tell
by the
jokes.
ankles and just gotta clean
It's
this
like,
baby.
It's the atheist baptism. You shower a baby and someone tells jokes at it, you know. Yeah, sorry, go on. So you invited to a baby shower.
Yeah, so I got like 3 or 4 people together that had done a few, they'd been at my nights and then a few like 5 minutes here, and they said, oh, you know, paid gig, we'll get like, you know, 20 quid each or whatever, and we'll go and do these jokes. But I turned up and like I said, there was like 8 women there, all very not posh as such, but like quite dolled up, like very well to do. A lot of gold on the table, a lot of gold and white and bling, and you know what I mean? Like yeah. So I got there and I instantly shit myself because I was like, they're not, I'm gonna bottle this. I know I am, I'm gonna bomb. And I had my little cards and I was all ready and walked out, introduced myself, like said what we're gonna do, and we got a few like, you know, a few comedians for you. And as I started, just instantly forgot everything that I'd planned, just went wow. So I was just stood with this microphone, just looking at these like 8 very heavy plasticine faced fucking women, just look at me, make us laugh then. Come on, boy. Chop to it. And I just completely bottled it. So yeah. So
what did you say anything, or did you just go goodbye? Thank you.
I kind of went back to my cards a little bit and tried to like fluff my way through whatever little material I had about. But I mean, the hardest part is I got nothing to relate to these women about. I haven't got any kids. You know what I mean? I don't really know what they're about, and there's like 8 of them. So trying to make 8 women laugh on some random Sunday afternoon while they're all sipping tea and eating bits of cake and stuff. They were nice enough, you know, they were pleasant, they were friendly, but it just felt
can't really be like making like, you know, fucked up jokes, like no dead baby jokes, you know, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Kind of like I didn't want to go too dark with anything, so I was just trying to basically take the piss out of myself, and you know, that's what I do most of the time anyway when I'm doing it. It's mostly just about being bold. But
okay. Nice.
Yeah, it just completely flopped. So my point there was like, in a long answer to your earlier question, I just need more practice, man. You know, like, so yeah, I'm eager to get back out and just keep trying.
Well, I can't wait to see you on stage, because I've seen you a lot of times on stage as a musician, and you're funny when you're on stage as a musician. You know, I mean, obviously you're also a skilled musician. I'm not. You're funny in your presence. You know, you've got a way with your words. So I can only imagine that the next natural transition is to stand-up comedy, and you know. Yeah, everyone knew it. You know that everyone thinks that. You know? I spoke to loads of people, and they said the same.
I just need to write more shit, man. That's what it is. Because my trouble is like I get it in my head, and I'm like, oh, that'd be really, you know, I've got something that I could work with. That could be like a joke somewhere. But then I never write it down. I think, oh, I'll remember that later, and you never do. You know, I mean, when you get those moments of inspiration, it's never the same when you try and come back to it. Yeah. Even 10 minutes later, you're like, shit, I should have put something down. So I've got like loads of bits of paper all over the place that just say random, like 2, like, I don't know, goose in a hat or something fucking just random. And I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking about then? No.
You should get a dictaphone.
Yeah. I tried it on my phone, but again, I'm just a lazy fuck, man. You know, I just got to work harder.
I want to ask, actually, just before we wrap this up, I wanted to ask about Motion. What's happening with the album? Obviously, I know you guys have parted ways, right? I guess because you moved, you're not.
Yeah, well, the main reason for that was because obviously I'm going to be moving away, so I didn't want to hold anything back. Not that I really thought I would or anything, but I didn't want to stall anything coming out. So, in all honesty, man, like unfortunately, I'm not the person to ask with the album, because I think it's ready. I think like the new album's ready. Like they're just.
I've been waiting for so long.
But yeah, tell me about it.
Holy shit.
So yeah, unfortunately, I haven't got much information for you on that. Because like I said, when all the lockdown started, I haven't seen the guys for, since before lockdown.
Damn.
So yeah, I'm completely out of the loop, man. Pester them, get onto them and be like, oi, knobheads. Get them on here.
Yeah. You know what? Like, I would love to when the album drops to get them all on, if possible. Yeah. I don't know about all. I mean, it could be pretty hectic. You know,
just do it as a rotation. Just have one guy for here, and then just whip them around.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
get 5 minutes each.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it. I think one mic would be better, because everyone speaking. And what is that? There's 13 rappers or 12 rappers.
And how many? I don't know if it's grown altogether. Yeah, I think it's like eight or nine rappers, and then you got 2 DJs.
Oh, and then the DJs.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's it's a big group.
Yeah, damn. Well, I have had a lot of fun, and this has actually flown by. I really have wanted you on here for ages. We've done an hour and 15 minutes, which is actually one of the longest podcasts so far, which is great.
Thank you, brother. No, I enjoyed myself, and hopefully
thank you for your time.
That's listening or watching enjoys the ramblings as well.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for listening. You've been listening to Daniel Grimwood on Shifty Perspective. I will post any of his concerts, comedy shows once lockdown is lifted back online. Check out Motion Enterprise, his former rap crew that he was a member of, that he beatbox and raps on. This has been a real pleasure, and check us out next week, every week on Sunday. This has been Shifty Perspective. Thank you very much. See you, everybody.
Cool.